everyone, welcome to MaysLugLife. I'm May, and this is part 3 of a 3-part video series I've been making, talking about all the things that have sort of been going wrong with Lug recently, and just a discussion, an open discussion on all things that are sort of weirdly Lug at the moment. So I actually recorded the video very shortly after I recorded part 2, and then unfortunately there was some glitchy issues with the video. I don't know what happened at all, but I had to delete the whole thing, which was a complete drag, and then I had to re-record it a couple days later, but I just haven't had time to listen to it again to make sure that it was okay, because I didn't actually work into my schedule. I was going to have to re-record and re-listen and edit a whole other video, so it's been really busy, and it's been hard for me to sort of squeeze that in. But luckily, in some ways, the fact that I didn't get around to it actually worked out for the better, because Lug actually released an official statement yesterday on Facebook. So yesterday was November the 14th. So very, very shortly after, or maybe right before they, I guess, put the fall box out for sale, they finally released some kind of a statement. So I'm going to read that to you here, because I know a lot of you guys don't have Facebook or are not on Facebook, so you're probably hearing this for the first time. I don't believe it's been posted on any other platform. I don't believe it was an email, although I gotta be honest with you, this should have been an email. This absolutely should have been emailed out to every single person. So I'm a little disappointed. Actually, I'm a lot disappointed that they haven't done that. I'm just more disappointed that Lug, for some reason, feels like their entire customer base is only on Facebook, and it's so far from the truth. Like, I'm now learning more and more people are not on Facebook in any way, shape, or form. So the fact that there's a bunch of people out there who are completely in the dark as to what's been going on, they're just not getting their orders, or getting really, really weird responses or no responses from customer service, and have zero idea what's been going on. And the fact that that's been going on for so long and Lug still hasn't talked to those people really kind of irks me, that this was only released on Facebook. However, I'm here to provide this for you. Hopefully it'll be helpful. Hopefully it'll give you a little bit of an insight. Anyways, so Lug, if you're listening, you got to put this out in an email to everybody on your email list, because there are a ton of people who do not have any clue what's going on, who have been ordering from you, who have nothing to do with Facebook, and I think it's only fair that you offer this to them as well. So, so this is my opportunity to give this to you. So I'm just going to read it through. I'm going to also talk a little bit of the responses that came from this, and then I'm going to sort of analyze it a little bit and sort of give you my thoughts on it. So let's read the statement. I'm going to try not to be sarcastic as I go. So, okay, to our Lug community, we sincerely apologize for the recent LugLife Villages orders, shipping delays and frustration, and want to explain what's going on. We partnered with a third-party logistics company a few months ago to improve and upgrade our fulfillment and distribution procedures, but unfortunately, they have yet to be able to match the level of service Lug customers deserve. Our company believes in transparency and community. Trying not to say anything sarcastic there. And this transition has prevented us from giving the updates that our Lug customers rightly deserve. We have had to be careful about our communication, as we needed to ensure that the warehouse would continue to ship our Lug orders and not shut down. We want to answer a few questions you may have. And so this is the Q&A section. So, question: why did I receive partial shipments in the mail? Why are some of my items refunded on orders? Answer: unfortunately, we have faced issues with our third-party warehouse systems processes and overall inventory count. As a result, inventory has not been synced correctly, and orders were not being received in the correct order. So if you're not sure what that means, basically, I guess the whole system for some reason was not processing orders in the right order. So if you place your order first and someone else placed it like 200th in line, it didn't mean that the first person got their order first. Sometimes it meant the 200th person got to the front of the line and got served first. So for those of you who were missing items and were wondering why it was, you had an item that you thought you ordered like within seconds of it being released, and yet you got an email saying that it's being refunded, but yet you know for a fact that there were a whole bunch of people who ordered like 2 days later who did get their item, who got the exact same item. And so they're saying that their system somehow did not sync up properly, so the inventory system did not allow for orders to be shipped in the order that they actually came in, because I think the order got shifted around somehow in their system and so it was being shipped out in order of being received, but the order of the orders going through didn't come in sequential order. So I think that's what they mean by that. So anyway, so that's that. So the next question: why are LugLife orders taking so long to ship compared to orders made on LugLife.com? Answer: the complexity of systems and processes that go into the processing and shipping orders placed on LugLife is much different than LugLife.com. The order processing and shipping time for orders placed on LugLife has improved, and we are now at 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, so let's put it this way. We know that LugLife.com and say like QVC, you place one order and they receive the order, they see what you need, they go pick it, they pack it, they ship it. LugLife is unique because you place your order Monday and maybe Tuesday and maybe Friday and maybe Sunday, and all of that somehow has to get sort of combined into one box and in one ship and in one order. So in the computer system, it would probably end up looking like a whole bunch of orders, which is why we get different order numbers every time we place a lug order on LugLife and close our carts. So if we close our carts, every time we close our cart, we get a whole different order number. And those order numbers, under normal circumstances, would get processed and shipped right away. But because LugLife is different, where they pack everything for the whole week all together at once to save on shipping and to make it cheaper for Lug to ship it, it probably completely messes up their system, because most systems are not meant to do that. Lug's weird LugLife system is a very unique shipping system. Nobody else that I'm aware of does this thing where you place your order all week and then it ships all at once in one package. So I think it messes up the inventory system and it messes up the shipping system at this new third-party company. So because those two kinds of order platforms are so different, they do get processed differently. And if they get processed differently, the ship time will be different. So if an order that you put in on Monday on LugLife and it doesn't finish until Sunday, it's a lot more difficult to accumulate all the different orders that you place through the week into one order and one box and ship it to you. That's a lot more complicated than it is if you were to go on LugLife.com, place an order on Monday, and they get it and they pack it on Monday night and it comes out on Tuesday and it eventually arrives at your door by the end of the week. So it's a very different process. So that's why they're saying that the two different kinds of orders are processing differently. However, it does say that they're now at 1 to 2 weeks. Now, I don't know what that means. To me, that's still really vague. What does that mean? Does it mean like from the day I order, you'll get it in 2 weeks or 1 to 2 weeks? Or does that mean from the day it ships, you'll get it in 1 to 2 weeks? Like that's vague. That's still really, really vague. And yeah, if they're still having problems trying to even get orders in order, like in sequential order, if my order that I placed on Monday doesn't get even noticed until Friday, that's going to be an issue. So that's, they haven't really solved that one yet. So we'll see. Next question. When will my order ship if I shop on LugLife.com or on QVC? And the answer is our LugLife.com and QVC orders are being processed and shipped within 48 hours of the order being transmitted into our system. Again, the transmit into our system is a little tiny bit vague. That language is a little bit vague. I don't know what that means, transmitted into our system. I have been noticing that people are saying that anybody putting LugLife orders in, they are getting their orders like within a few days or a week at most. So it looks like the second you place the order, it does immediately go through into the system and it gets acknowledged and then it starts to get packed. So it's possible that's what that means, but I still think that there's still some discrepancies there. There are still some people who are getting those a little bit later than it used to be. So we'll see. So hopefully that's better. Okay, so the next question is, the packages I receive, my orders in haven't been up to typical Lug standard. Will this be improved? Answer: yes, we have already made our third-party warehouse team aware of recent packaging issues and have been reassured that proper steps are being taken so that our orders are packed securely. In terms of the fun, playful shipping boxes that you know and love, they will return in 2023. Okay, so we definitely know that boxes aren't being packaged properly. Things are being tossed around. They're just a wreck. And I totally agree. I've definitely gotten boxes where I'm like, it just looks like everyone had a party in here. They're still drunk. It sounds like they are. They've already told their this new warehouse that this is a problem. They've been assured that things are going to get better. We'll see how this goes. Now, I also think it's really interesting that they said we've already made our third party warehouse team, and I don't know whether that means like admin team or the actual like boots on the ground team. So that'll be interesting to find out as well, because I don't know if that means like, I don't know who's actually being told this. So I don't know how far it will eventually happen. In other words, if they tell the administration that, how long will it take before they get that down to the workers, or if they actually walked onto the floor and talked to the workers and said, this is how we want things done. So we'll see, because anything that goes from the top and it comes down always takes a whole lot longer. And for anybody like me who's been really, really missing the beautiful boxes and the tissue and the freebies and the beautiful presentation of Lug orders, then it'll be coming back in 2023. It didn't say when in 2023, but supposedly in a year from now, or hopefully less, we're going to see a return to that. Because I'll be honest with you, I do miss it. I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of sick of the butterfly box. I'm really hoping for a new box soon. So it'd be nice to see a new box. I guess they just haven't bothered. It just hasn't been worth it for them to go back and train these people to do beautiful boxes when they can't even do a box in general. So you know what? One step at a time. I'm okay with that. But at least they are aware that that's a problem. So that's great. Next question. What steps is Lug making to improve my overall shipping experience on LugLife? Excellent question. Answer. First, we have worked so this is interesting. We have worked to onboard a second warehouse that will create with, I'm trying again. Sorry, let me try from the beginning. I'm having trouble with this one. First, we have worked to onboard a second warehouse that will assist, create more bandwidth, and work to fix our current logistics challenges. In turn, this will improve overall order processing and return processing, combat incomplete order deliveries, and ultimately increase shipping times. I think they mean decrease shipping times, and the overall, and they probably mean decrease shipping times and increase the overall customer experience. Additionally, we have worked closely with our third-party partners and internal teams to create better reporting to keep our customers updated accurately. Okay, so the really interesting thing about that, by the way, if you're wondering why I'm reading funny, why I can't, I'm literally reading out of one eye because of the way my camera is sitting, and I see double because of my crappy vision, and so I'm kind of seeing out of one eye, but also sort of half seeing double, so I keep seeing the same line over again, and I'm having trouble with that, so I apologize. It's just the way everything is set up right here, and how crappy my eyes are right now. So I apologize for my really terrible reading out loud. Where was I? So what is really interesting about that is that they've involved a second warehouse. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means there's a whole other company like this third-party company that they've already hired. Like, are there now two companies working in tandem that are maybe even competitors of each other? Is it a complementary warehouse where they do sort of different types of warehousing, and they're here to sort of try to offset some of the problems that the first third-party warehouse is having? Or did they even maybe go back to their original warehouse people and original warehouse to kind of try to offset some of the issues? Like, I don't know what that means. To me, I think that requires a little bit more of an explanation. I guess they don't owe it to us, but I think I would like to know what that means. That sounds really confusing to me. And for me, whenever I hear that they're involving a second party, or anybody says, well, I've got some problems with this person, I've involved a third party or another party to come in and help, it either gets better or it becomes a bigger disaster, because now it's more cooks in the kitchen. And sometimes, like if they're a competitor, how are they going to work together? And does this mean like eventually they're planning on sort of transitioning to this second warehouse? Like, I don't know what that means. So that sounds to me like more headache in the future about to, happen. So that's just me and my paranoia, and me and my, it's I don't know. It's kind of like, yeah, like giving. What is it? What's the expression? Like taking from Paul, giving to what is it, like to Peter, whatever. It just seems so like sleight of hand, and I think that's why it sort of freaks me out a little bit. Okay, moving on. So looking ahead, going into the holiday season, we wanted to do something extra special for our Lug community. So we'll be offering free shipping on our Lug Live channel starting today, November 14th, until January 1st, 2023. Alongside that, look forward to our new product drops, exciting event shows, and so much more coming your way. Our Lug brand has always been about more than just bags. We are about family and community. The entire Lug team is committed to finding the right solutions and creating the best customer experience possible. We take great pride in giving you 100% of our day, giving you our 100% every day to provide a shopping and customer experience that you'll enjoy. Sincerely, Jason and Amy Richter. Okay, so there's the statement. I'm going to try to post it at the end as well if you want to just read it on your own and sort of peruse on your own, take your time, because I'm not sure if that's going to be really easy to read. So anyway, so the fallout on this one, I did actually go in and look at the comments. So I'm just going to scroll to the bottom. I'm not going to show you everything, but I'm just going to scroll. By the way, that's the little graphic, an important update to our community. Just look. Hopefully you can see this. 222 comments. That's a lot. For anybody who's not on Facebook, that's a buttload, especially for this particular group. 335 people have either liked or hearted this, which is good. That's a lot. So I was like, okay, so maybe the response has been good. And then I scrolled down to read, and I gotta tell you, I was a little surprised, because I'll be honest, I thought. Sorry, just that popped up. I thought that the positive, because I thought all this positiveness was going to be reflected in the comments. It turns out it wasn't really. So there were 335 people who were happy about this, at least. And then when I read the comments, it was significantly less so. At least it seemed like it. So I'm not gonna show you that, because I don't want you to have to. I mean, just in case there are people on there, I don't want the names to be out there. Anyway, that being said, when I was reading the comments, I would say about 65% of the comments were not probably what Lug was hoping for. I think Lug was hoping for like, yay, this is awesome, this is great, thank you so much, everything is forgiven, we're all back to happy, happy, love, love. And then when I read the responses, now, obviously anybody who still feels something else other than what I just mentioned are going to be the ones that respond. Anybody who's like, everything is forgotten, under the bridge, la la la, they've moved on, they're either not going to bother responding, or it never bothered them in the first place, so they're not going to even, even reading this, they'll be like, yeah, whatever, and they've brushed it off. So the only people who are going to actually say something are the people who are upset. There definitely were a lot of people who were like, thank you very much, this was a long time coming, thank you for the transparency, thank you for finally making a statement, I was getting a bit worried, but now I'm feeling better about it. Many people were also equally as like thank you so much, I love this company, you guys are so great, it's it's companies, it's things like this that you do that make me love you. Most companies wouldn't even bother with this, so thank you for going the extra mile. There were definitely comments like that, but probably, like I said, more than half were comments that reflected a very different tone, and most of the ones that I was reading were actually quite upset. It wasn't just like, well, I'm sad, I'm thank you for doing this, but it's still not enough. There was a lot of that, but there was a lot of, how dare you, after all this time we've been begging you and begging you and begging you for answers and for solutions, and this is the best you came up with, was a very late statement, and really no solutions that you can actually really say are genuinely going to get fixed. And I would have to agree that there was no genuine feeling that everything was now over. They said that things were changing, that they have made the changes, or that they've informed certain people, or they're aware of certain things, and they're trying to improve this, that, and the other thing. But there was no guarantee to me that everything was over. And I think that was the overall sentiment, that everyone seemed to be experiencing that feeling of, but I don't feel like this is over. I don't feel like everything is finished. And alongside that was a lot of people being quite upset at the fact that how dare they actually now come on after all this and say, by the way, as a thank you or as a special whatever, we're going to offer free shipping. So I think that was a little bit of an insult for a lot of people, after having lost so much money and so much time and so much energy and stress, to be only offered free shipping, even though their orders are still missing, even though they still didn't receive X, Y, and Z products that they ordered months ago, or that they were being charged, money before their lug products even arrived, and in some cases they never arrived, so they just basically had to give their credit card company a call or whatever it was. So take other really drastic measures to rectify the problem on their own, because still to this day, Lug has not ever really responded properly. So there was a lot of that as well. So it was interesting to see the sort of the balance of the overall feelings that people had after reading this particular statement. Like I said, just by looking at the hearts and the thumbs up, a lot of people were completely okay and happy with this particular response, with this statement. But there were a lot of people as well who were, I think, really quite upset that there wasn't more solid answers and there wasn't a genuine feeling that the direction was truly changing for the better, and that there was a slap in the face of, after all that, all you could offer was free shipping on LugLife. And so, and as I was reading the comments, it was definitely old lug nuts, people who have been with the company for years, people who have been basically spending thousands and thousands of dollars every year, and their whole house is probably made of lug, and those are the people who are really upset. I know there are a lot of people who are coming on who are just joining lug for the first time, or have been, very sort of light, like lug nut light. I'm going to use that word. Just invented that. So, like, again, the people who definitely go and buy stuff and maybe have been lucky and not received any problems with their shipping orders, or their orders. But there's definitely still a ton of not so happy lug nuts. So that was fascinating to read. And I wanted to read you some, but I've decided not to, because I think that's just going to take too long. So anyway, it's interesting nonetheless to see. Now, I guess if you're not on Facebook, not that I want you to go on Facebook, but if you really, really are interested, maybe join the group. So it's the official #LugLife Facebook group. You have to sort of let them, like, you have to sort of apply, like you have to ask to be let in, but they pretty much don't, unless you're like, I don't know, some kind of weirdo, and you've got really weird stuff on your Facebook page, they'll let you in, and then you can actually read it. So Lug has pinned this particular statement, so if you go to the top on this page, you can sort of scroll through the top little sort of flippy thing, and you'll find it sort of buried a little bit. If you're having trouble finding it, and you want to go on Facebook, just put something in the comments below and I'll help you through it. But anyways, so it's certainly worth reading. So for anybody who has a Facebook page and hasn't been on Facebook in a while, go ahead and read it. It is interesting to hear what everybody has to say. If you are not on Facebook at all and you're a little bit curious, it might be worth starting just opening up an account just to see. Otherwise, if you guys really, really want me to read the comments, put that in the comments, and maybe one day I'll actually read through the comments for you, for anybody who's curious. So, okay, so let's talk a little bit about this. So now, my personal feelings on this, right off the bat, as soon as I saw that there was an announcement or some kind of statement, my back was a little bit up. I was like, oh yeah, what are you gonna have to say after all this time? So I unfortunately probably am, I sit where the other sort of more long-term lug nuts sit. I have known about this company for years. I've been actively as like a true lug nut probably for the past 2.5, 3 years. I was a light user probably for about 2 years before that. But I've been aware of the company forever, probably since they started. And I've been kind of a fan of them without actually having purchased anything. So for me to see this statement, it doesn't it doesn't feel as it doesn't feel like the mea culpa that I think a lot of people thought it was. To me, it was a little bit empty, and it was a little, I mean, certainly, did it answer some questions? Yes. Did it address the problems? Yes. Was it an acknowledgement of the problems? Yes. Was it an acknowledgement that they knew that people were upset about the problems? Yes. So all of those things that I had sort of talked about in a previous video, a lot of those things they checked off. And the fact that they actually came on here and made a statement at all, even if it's super, super late, even if this is like 5, 6, 7 months overdue, a statement of any kind at some point is always better than none. So always better late than never, but sometimes late is too late, and sometimes late is, it almost reeks more of weird things going on behind the scenes. Not that I think that's what's going on here, but sometimes it makes you more suspicious because you're like, well, why is it so late? And it makes you ask even more questions that make you want to delve into, more stuff that maybe, they're not willing or wanting to offer up. So, okay, so that's kind of my overall feeling of it. And then as I started reading, it was hard for me to sort of keep a bit of a straight face in many cases. And certainly that whole, we believe in transparency and community, which I thought was fascinating. Because if you did believe in transparency, literally the only thing we asked of you from day one was transparency, and you never offered it once. So for you to say to me that you are a believer in transparency, but the first time you've been, quote, transparent was practically 9 months after the whole, like when things really started hitting the fan, that's not cool. That's like saying I really, really believe in monogamy after, someone's been cheating on you like 5 times. They come back and they go, well, I'm only gonna be with you now, but they've cheated on you for the past 6 months. To me, I'm like, well, yeah, I don't think you really actually believe in monogamy, but you can say that now, but it's a little too late. So anyway, so to talk about, the fact that they acknowledge all the problems, they are aware of the problems, I'm so grateful for that. And I'm also grateful that they actually literally use the word "we apologize," because when, in a good way, we sincerely apologize for the recent issues. That's good, because when Amy came on and put out her little video, I guess it was a couple months ago, she said, basically kind of like, I'm sorry you're going through this. I'm sorry you are experiencing problems, as opposed to, we are sorry for what we have done to you. This is an acknowledgement that they were at fault and that they're the ones causing the stress and causing the problems. So we sincerely apologize for the problems that are going on, is different from, I'm sorry you're going through this problem. I'm sorry you're experiencing what you're experiencing. And I think that's the difference. So it's like, I'm sorry your cat died versus I'm sorry I killed your cat. I think those are the kind of the differences in the way those words were put out. Now, I don't know if they meant to do it that way. I'm sure Amy didn't mean necessarily to say, I'm sorry that your cat died, even though I know I killed your cat. I don't think she meant it that way necessarily. Sometimes you just say stuff and it just comes out. So I'm willing to accept that maybe it just wasn't well planned and it wasn't well executed. But the statement wasn't well planned or well executed. But either way, that's how it came out and that's how it was received. And if that's how it was, but that's how it came out and that's how it was received, and you don't address it, then it makes you think that maybe that you were just sorry that your cat was dead, and I'm not going to apologize for the fact that I was the one that killed it. So anyway, so it was interesting to see that they did change their terminology on that and the phrasing of their apology. So that's something. And then for me, I read that once through, and then I read it a second time because I really wanted to make sure I got it all before I came here and spoke about it. And the thing that hit me the second time, well, it hit me the first time, but I couldn't put my finger on what it was that was kind of irking me a little bit. And so when I read it the second time, it hit me that what it was again, and I sort of said this in a previous video, is, and I kind of mentioned it earlier just now, that even though they've apologized for the issues, they still haven't really apologized for ultimately being responsible for the problems. So yes, we have partnered with a third party. They've screwed up. They have not kept up with their end of the bargain. Totally fine. I accept that. But you were the one that chose this company. You were the ones that thought this was the company that was going to be your savior and make everything better. And in turn, but in reality, it made it a gazillion times worse. Probably worse than anybody ever possibly imagined. And I know that intention is half of it. And like if you intended for things to get better, but it ended up being worse, are you as guilty? Maybe not. But at the very least acknowledge that, we truly expected this company to be, better. And unfortunately, they just have not lived up to, they have not matched the level of service that we expected them to provide. And I think that would have been an even better acknowledgement of wrongdoing. Because at the end of the day, no matter what, if you are the head of a company, even if everyone underneath you is the one that screws up, everything it has to fall on your head. The buck stops at you. So if you're the owner of the company and you made business choices that you thought were correct and you thought were going to serve you well, that ended up not serving you well, that, like I said, backfired hard, you still have to take responsibility for that. So if you are the ones who made the choice to make all these things happen and it didn't go according to plan, say so. Say, we were hoping when we came into this partnership, it was going to do this, and unfortunately it has not done so. I would have been much more okay with that, but it felt to me like they were like, just so you know, all of this is not our fault. It's 100% the fault of the company that we hired, and there's nothing we can do about it. In fact, they were going to be holding our stuff for ransom, and we were scared that they were going to, shut everything down and walk away, and we were going to be left stuck with all these problems. As opposed to saying, you know what, we made a wrong choice. We probably didn't mean to do this. We really truly hoped that it was going to have a better outcome, but unfortunately this is the situation we're in now, and this is what's happened, and we're sorry that this is where we're at, and we are doing everything we can to try to fix it, and it's going to take some time because it's a learning curve for everybody, or whatever it is. Say something, and we hope that eventually we will keep coming back and giving you more updates and trying to be more transparent and telling you more as things go on and things change. I think that would have been nicer for me, but it felt right off the bat, we're blaming a third party. It's not our fault. They just didn't live up to their end of the bargain, and ta-da, here we are. And I think that's what's weird about that whole statement. And the last thing that left me like, that kind of, like I said, irked me a little bit, that I finally was sort of able to put my finger on, was at the very, very end when they're saying going forward, like looking forward, what's going to happen. So they're saying, okay, going into the holiday season, we wanted to do something special for the glove community. When you've messed up this hard and you've lost so many customers, you've lost the confidence of many, many people. A lot of people are still taking breaks, even though with this apology, people are like, yeah, you know what? Thank you for the apology. I totally understand now. I appreciate everything. However, I'm still not going to place an order because you still didn't fix the problem. And until I see that the problems have been fixed, I'm still not buying anything. So you still have a bunch of people who are like, not sure. And you've also lost a ton who are never coming back. And there are people who are still having issues. There are people who still haven't received anything back from customer service, haven't heard back about their refunds, are still missing items, orders have gotten misplaced, whatever, damage, la la la. The list goes on, and you know them all. So to come on and say, the thing that we're going to do to say, we acknowledge that we screwed up and we hope that you come back to us, is offer free shipping only on one platform, which is LugLife. Now, LugLife is a platform that a lot of people have shunned already. So there are a lot of people who are like, I still love Lug, I still love the products, I haven't given up the company, but I refuse to buy anything from LugLife because it's plagued with problems. I refuse to do that. I'm only going to be buying through the website or through QVC. Or whatever, some, retail outlet. So to say that you're offering free shipping as the Band-Aid solution, or the olive branch that they're offering after an entire year of screw-ups, and lost confidence and great disappointment and great stress and anger to say, we'll give you free shipping because we want you to keep buying from us. So in other words, we apologize to you, and our way to say sorry is to find a way for you to give us more money. And that is, I think, pretty gross. So they could have just left it at that. They could have just said, we're sorry for everything. We're looking ahead. We really do hope that things will come together soon. Please be patient with us. Thank you very much. The end. Thank you. We love you, Amy and Jason. And then on a separate whole other thing, just say, as a present to our customers, we're going to give you free shipping for LugLife. I think if they had separated those two, it would have been much more sincere. So it really is, I'm sorry that your cat is dead. I'm not going to acknowledge that I killed your cat. Oh, but by the way, I'm going to give you a whole bunch of free cat litter and free food. And by the way, my cat just gave birth to kittens. So I'm going to sell you one, and because I know you lost your cat. So I'm going to give you some food and some litter, but you must buy the kitten from me, because I know you want a new kitten really badly. So I've got these beautiful kittens. Please purchase one, but I'll give you free food. That's kind of what it felt like to me, and that is really wrong. So I think that's why it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Now, is it forgiven for me? I wouldn't say forgiven, but I at least understand. And I respect that's, all the problems they've been having have not obviously been what Lugs wanted. And I know it's been a hard year for them. And I know it's been really difficult for them to have to get through. So I appreciate that. And I respect that they finally came out and said something. And I do also respect that they did pretty much answer, they at least acknowledge all the problems that have been plaguing them for so long. So they didn't sort of leave anything. Well, they left one thing out. They left out quality control. That was the one thing they definitely left out, and I did notice that as well. But the things that they can control right now here in the present time on this continent, they at least acknowledge all those things. So that's okay. But I think, I think the problem with Lug is they are so 100% focused on sell, new customers, grow, expand, that they can't see the forest for the trees anymore. And I think that is, it's become like it's a reflex. It's not even, it's like an instinct or I'm going to say it's a reflex, because everything is about sell. There's not that level of self-awareness and contemplation and reflection, I don't think is really there. That's not their go-to. That's not who they are generally. I think everything is forward, run, go. And there's very little looking back. And if it's looking back nostalgically and looking back like, look at how far we've come, as opposed to, hang on, is there anything that we maybe forgot? Did we screw up somewhere? Maybe we should go back and just double check and make sure we really didn't, run anything over or leave anything behind. And I think that's kind of not Lug's MO. And I think there's no need for them to go back, because they've been doing very well, doing what they've been doing, running forward, going to the next sales, going to the next customer, getting the next big order, landing the next big contract. That's who they are. That is what they do. I mean, look, every single thing that they talk about, they're bringing on, they're bringing new, like random guests. They're pairing or partnering with charities and with other groups and organizations and other people who are big in the industry. Their mantra must be network, grow, expand, happy, love, no negative, all positive, because that's how they run things. And so to look back and have that real sort of reflection on whether we've done things properly or not, I don't think they have that capability anymore. I'm starting to think that that's just not in their DNA, and that's just not in their wheelhouse. So in order to make them do that, someone really has to sort of force them to do that. And that's kind of what this whole situation has been. It's forced them to look themselves in the mirror and go, what did we do wrong? But instead of going, yeah, we screwed up, they went, oh, well, it was Border Works' problem. They screwed up. There was nothing we could do about it. And if you want to say that's a personality flaw or something, maybe it is, but that's who we're working with. So I guess the question now is, knowing who we are working with, this is who Lug is, this is their DNA. Are we cool with the fact that they're always going to be wooing new customers and forgetting about their old ones? Are we cool with that? Maybe we are, because ultimately that's kind of what business is all about. That is what businesses do. It is always about getting the new customer. Our phone companies do it. Our the old cable companies used to do it. When we sign up for memberships at grocery stores and things, if you're a new member, they'll give you like free gifts. Here's a bag of cookies. Here's a free steak. But if you've been a member with that store forever, you don't get anything new. You just get your points and whatever. Just collect your points. Just keep collecting your points. But if you've never been with them before, they'll woo you in with all sorts of cool things just so you can sign up. So this is not unlike any other business. It's probably very similar, but I think because and I've said this in the previous video, because we have a personal, emotional connection with Lug, it hits us in a different way. So now it's just a matter of trying to figure out, are we comfortable with this response? Are we happy with what they said? Are we comfortable with the direction they're going in? Are we okay knowing that this is who it is? I mean, just with our family, sometimes we have family members who are racist. We have family members who are homophobic. We have family members who are really, really mean-spirited. We have family members who are, crazy. But do we still, go to see them every single Thanksgiving and Christmas and give them a hug and love them and support them and be there for them and give them a gift every year? Or do we start to go, you know what, I'm not going to Thanksgiving this year. I'm maybe not going to go to the reunion this year. Bit by bit, do we distance ourselves away from those crazy, not so savory family members? And I think that's where we're at now. So Lug Nuts, we have a choice. We go forward with the way Lug is, knowing full well who they are, or we start to kind of go, all right, you know what? I'm just not going to go to as many events. I'm not going to be a huge part and a very active member of the community anymore, but I'll send Christmas cards and I'll show up for the big reunion once in a while. But I'm not going to go for dinner every Sunday anymore. So I think that's kind of where we're at. So the questions are for us to, I guess, to answer. And I guess to look and see who we are. Are we comfortable with the way this is? Do we have a problem with it? And if we do have a problem with it, do we pretend like everything is okay, or do we stand up and go, you know what, Lug, we're not cool with this, and here's the reason why we're not buying as much? And then if that's the case, we need to tell them that, because if we just take a break and they don't know why, or if we're not happy with them and they don't know why, then this will continue to go on and we're never going to see the end of this. So like everything, every squeaky wheel gets oil. And I know that in the community, there are a lot of people who are like, don't say anything, don't complain, it's negative, so don't say it. I'm a firm believer of that is BS, because the only time that things get better, the only times that things change is when someone says, this is not enough. This is not good enough. We need more. We can do better. And if we, as a group, do that, then there's a chance that things will get better. And I think if we use that for life in general, for anything that we feel passionately about, whether it be human rights or, sticking up for that person at work or at school or that family member, that poor cousin who gets picked on all the time, if we can go, you know what, I'm not happy with the way things are, I'm going to speak up and say something, the world will be a better place. And if we take it upon ourselves to make things better, and anything we can control that we can make better, let's do it. And we don't have to be mean about it. We don't have to be angry, and we don't have to be impatient and crazy. But, even if it's just an email to Lug, or if you're on Facebook, put it out on a Facebook thing, just read it, and just write it, and someone will read it, and someone will see it. And if it's said enough times, someone will have to hear it. And if it means anything to Lug at all, they will have to make a change. So there you go. That's a long video, but there was a lot of stuff in that email or that statement, and I think this, like I said, this is a long time coming, and there was a lot to say about it. So sorry I had to sit here and listen to me for 45 minutes. Holy crap, I'm so sorry. I wish I could buy you all a coffee and a cookie, and give you all a hug for just listening to me yammer for so long. So I'm sending you a virtual hug and a virtual cookie and a virtual gin. I don't know. I don't drink, so I don't even know what people celebrate with. Champagne? I don't know. Anyways, A high five to all of you for listening. Thank you so much for listening to all this, and for watching all the videos, especially all those of you who watch all 3 of these stupid things. And let's keep talking. I think there's definitely a place for us to say something. I don't think Lug is actually reading these, but if they are, then hey, let's be part of the solution and not be part of the problem. So there we go. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.